when we think about the Israelites' journey from Egypt to the Promised Land, we should keep in mind that it very much resembles our own journey in our walk with Christ, right? We started in bondage. We were slaves to sin. And then God came and rescued us. And usually when he rescues us, it's through amazing signs and miraculous wonders, right? Just like he had to do for them in Egypt, he has to come into your life and radically change it, right? They ended up going from one lifestyle to now they're kind of walking through this journey in the desert, right? Now, they grumbled and complained, and that did nothing good for them. They doubted. They at times wanted to go back to Egypt because it was the easier life. They were very human. So we have to understand that we're on the same journey, right? He saved us from bondage. He came and set us free so that we don't have to be stuck in our sin, right? So he saves us from bondage. We were slaves to sin. We are not slaves to sin anymore. Now we're on a journey. On that journey, are you going to be grateful, or are you going to be kind of like the Israelites where you're like, ugh, this is hard. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. And am I going to be miserable the whole time? Is there at any point, maybe I should just go back to my old life, right? This is a very real comparison when we think about like what they went through, how they behaved, and what we go through and how we behave. Sometimes when you're reading it, you're like, these people, they just can't stop complaining. They can't stop going against Moses. They can't stop complaining about the journey. And then you think, I might be a little bit like that. So keep in mind that it's something we need to read to understand, to try not to be like that. Try not to do the things they did, because they then wandered the wilderness for 40 years, where we shouldn't have to wander in the wilderness for 40 years before we make it to the Promised Land. Because God had a plan, and had they behaved differently, that plan probably would have gone a bit differently, right? Let's skip the wandering for 40 years and try to make it into the Promised Land on path, on course. But in order to do that, we have to trust God. We have to trust that this journey is going to be sanctified by the Lord. You can do it.